Good morning, everyone. It's Rose from Dance of the Soul Tarot, and I thought I would just pop in and do a quick little sharing on my card of the month. So this is the Magician equivalent, and it is from the fabulous Minoan Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi-Prince. And I'm really taken with this card. I'm not sure if the colors are showing up on the monitor, but they're so vivid. The blues, and they're just gorgeous. So I love this representation. I love, there's so much rich feminine imagery in it. You have this snake coiling up the post here, and you have a bowl, you have two bowls. And I love how delicately her hands are just kind of resting above the bowl. Maybe she's scrying with her fingers or her body. And you have the ewer here. And then the Labrys, which is a very strong feminine symbol. You've probably seen the goddesses. There's a famous, maybe a Minoan one, holding the two Labryses in her hands, as a sign of real feminine wisdom and strength. So that's very prominent here. And you have the eggs up here, and her familiar, bluebird familiar. And then you have the priestess herself, who looks so regal and quite refined. Her expression is, I love her. Her eye is kind of both knowing and compassionate at the same time, in her curly black hair, but she's keeping it real with her feet on the ground here. So she is refined, but she's also in contact with the earth. And I think, if I recall correctly, this is a sheepskin shirt that she's wearing. I can hear my tea, coffee, water bubbling away in the background. So, so this priestess is really speaking to me this month as my card of the month. And so I've been thinking a lot about, you know, it's such an interesting, the differences between these two are, in some ways they're pronounced, but also they're subtle, because they're both working with elemental energies. They both understand the dialogue between form and the formless. So we see the lemniscate above the magician's head in the traditional depiction. This is the borderless Rider-Waite. And so this is the ether element. And of course, here we have the elemental energies. We've got earth, water, fire, and air. And he is the conduit for that relationship. So he always has an awareness of the formless, of the etheric energies. He understands that as basically the essence of these form energies, so the elemental energies. And that is a key, I think, to his knowledge. And so with her, it's a similar feeling of this elemental energy. And then I think all this blue, for me, stands in for the ether element in the traditional card. So, you know, I've come to understand this card in a different way than just about manifesting, because the relationship between the form and the formless is so pronounced. So for me, it's become an ongoing apprenticeship to the discipline of limit. That's how I've come to understand it. And you can see for example, in this card, you have this table, so that has 4 sides and 4 legs. So it's very much about limit. That number is a number of limit. It's not expansive. But the table, So limit form is so needed to contain these more esoteric elemental energies. So as if to say you cannot have one without the other. And the magician or the priestess knows how to dance, I think is the right word, with those energies. So it knows that he or she knows how to dance with the form in a way that works for them. And dance is the word that comes to mind because it implies a certain kind of creativity and innovation and spontaneity that is so necessary for magician energy, for manifesting energy. It's full of movement. And you don't necessarily see that, you know. Here's the Robledo, again with the table here. You don't necessarily see the sense of movement so much because the magician is pictured here, you know, standing usually. But I think movement is integral to this mystery, this skill of manifestation. And, you know, for me, the sense of limit being a discipline, so looking at form as a discipline, framing it in that way, has opened a door for me, because as somebody who likes to spend a lot of time in the ethers, I've always found the you know, the form, the world of form, very limiting, thwarting, and kind of slows me down, because the ether realm is, you know, is timeless, so you can be anywhere, do anything. But the realm of form, there are certain laws that are in place that we are all subject to. But looking at it as a discipline is allowing me to see form, to see those elemental energies as they appear in the formed world as an esoteric teaching. And that is, I think, the secret of the magician. The magician knows this, knows there's no esoteric difference really between the form and the formless realms, that they are, there's a place where they are one and the same. So it's interesting that, you know, this priestess really has opened up that for me, opened this card up for me, made it accessible. She knows, you know, like any good priestess, knows how to ask for something in an articulate way, knows how to articulate her vision so that the goddesses and gods can receive it in a way that is that will work for her. So it's about, again, then there's language. It's about knowing how to ask, what to ask for, knowing, you know, knowing your own limit in some ways. So if you want to manifest something, not making goals that you can't reach, and not taking vows that you can't keep, because that is, you know, almost a disregard for your own sense of limit, for that discipline. You know, knowing that a promise and an aspiration are really the same thing, because the aspiration is that outward aspire, inspire takes it in, aspire gives form to something refined within you that you would like to see on the outers. So it's all about, you know, knowing yourself intimately, I think, key to the magician energy. Because of course these elemental energies are all present in each of us. We all have earth, we all have water, air, fire, and ether is the stuff of them. And it's an interesting exercise to explore what elements are more predominant, and what elements need accentuating and building up. So I know that for me, earth and water are areas that I need to I have a sense of needing to embody more, whereas fire and air come very easily to me. There's a whole school of study on elements in the body, and I'm looking at the time. There's just no way I could go into it here. But to bring the elemental energy into the conversation, because the Magician is so much about that. So I will leave you with this wonderful image. I hope you have a great day with your own realistic manifestations. I'm going to have my tea, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.